Hello and welcome to the Wonder Files, where you can encounter new ideas, imaginative doings and works of art, where we hear how an artist gets an inspiration for a certain type of artwork that becomes their signature piece. We talk about how nature speaks to people and calms things down, so much so that now murals and ceilings are being put into schools where children are, and it seems to bring down any kind of bad behavior reports and also makes the whole environment more serene. So we're looking for things that do that generally to us. It just kind of makes us feel so proud of being a part of this world and so happy with all of its many, many faces and phases. So today I'm going to be reading to you the introduction to all of this book, and it's called, the introduction itself is called An Incredible Voyage. And you can see the owl there, and the owl plays a big part in this story. Let us begin. Imagine an elephant in a room. Make it a big room, let's say your school gym. You're there with the elephant, and so are a mouse, a robin, and a rattlesnake. An owl perches on the basketball hoop. A bat hangs upside down from the ceiling. A spider sits in a corner on its web. A mosquito buzzes by. Now, don't worry about how all these animals got here or who's going to clean up after them. Instead, think about how you and these animals perceive one another. The elephant raises its trunk. The rattlesnake flicks out its tongue, and the mosquito's antennae twitch. They all look like they're doing very different things, but in fact, all three are smelling. The mosquito catches a whiff of the scent of your skin and lands on your arm for a bite. You swat it away, and your slap startles the mouse, which squeaks in alarm. That squeak is very high-pitched, and while the bat can hear it, you and the elephant cannot. To you, there is only silence. Meanwhile, the elephant makes its own sound, a deep rumble that is too low-pitched for your ears or the bat's. You can only feel its vibrations, and so can the rattlesnake through its sensitive belly. You can hear the robin's song, but your hearing is too slow to pick up every note. Then you look at the robin. Its chest looks red to you, but not to the elephant, which sees only blues and yellows. To the robin itself, its chest blazes with ultraviolet, a color that it and the owl can see, but that you cannot. And you see even less when the lights go out. You walk forward, reaching out with your arms to feel for obstacles. The mouse does the same with its sensitive whiskers, which it sweeps back and forth as it skitters between your feet. These footsteps are too faint for your ears, but the owl hears them easily and swoops in. The rattlesnake can also sense the mouse in the darkness by detecting the infrared radiation coming off the creature's warm body. The rattlesnake strikes out and collides with the swooping owl. All of this goes unnoticed by the spider. It can't see or hear very well. The spider cares most about the vibrations that move along its web. When the mosquito lands and gets stuck, the spider senses its struggles and moves in. But as the spider attacks, so does the bat. Its high-pitched calls are made as it flies and listens for the returning echoes. This ability, a kind of sonar, lets the bat find the spider and pluck it from the web, even in the dark. As the bat eats, the robin can feel a strange pull. It senses Earth's magnetic field, even from inside the gym, as if it has a compass inside its head. The robin turns due south and escapes through an open window. The robin leaves behind one elephant, one bat, one rattlesnake, one slightly ruffled owl, one fortunate mouse, and you. Whew, that's a lot of things to consider. That's a big population in that gym. In this story, you share the same space as the other creatures in the gym, but each of you experiences your environment in wildly different ways. This is true for the planet's billions of animal species. Think about that, billions of animal species. Earth is full of sights and textures, sounds and smells, vibrations, tastes, electronic and magnetic fields, but every animal can tap into only some of these things. Even different people sense the world differently. For some, red and green look the same. For others, body odor smells like vanilla. Some people love cilantro, but for others it tastes like soap. This is because each of us and each creature on Earth is enclosed in a unique sensory bubble. Each of us perceives just a tiny sliver of an immense world. There is even a word to describe this sensory bubble. Umwelt, U-M-W-E-L-T, is from the German. The W then is pronounced as a V, and we get Umwelt. In 1909, a zoologist named Jacob van Uxkel started using the word in a special way to describe the part of an animal's surroundings that it can sense and experience. Your Umwelt could be completely different from that of another animal standing right next to you. A tick, which is a small blood-sucking creature, has a very narrow Umwelt. It can detect body heat, the touch of hair, and the chemicals that come off our skin. It doesn't know about all the colors and sounds we can sense. To a tick, these parts of the world don't exist. And even though our Umwelt is wider than a tick's, it is also limited. It just doesn't feel that way. It's all that we know, so we make the mistake of thinking it's all that there is to know. You can't sense the electric fields that sharks and platypuses can. You can't feel the magnetic fields that robins and sea turtles detect. You can't hear the highest calls that rodents make or the lowest ones that elephants or whales do. You can't see the infrared radiation that rattlesnakes detect or the ultraviolet light that birds and bees can sense. But that doesn't mean these things aren't there. Even when an animal shares the same senses as we have, its Umwelt can be very different. There are animals that can hear sounds in what seems to us like silence. There are animals that can see colors in what looks to us like darkness. There are animals with ears on their knees, noses on their limbs, and tongues all over their body. There are animals that can see with their entire body. An animal's senses are always tuned to its needs. They capture information that's important to the animal while filtering out everything it doesn't need to know about. This is why every animal has an Umwelt. No creature needs to sense everything, and no creature does. This is also why trying to step into another animal's Umwelt is such a magical act. Our senses give us what we need to know. We have to choose to learn about the rest. But learning about other animals won't be easy. Think about a bat. Bats understand the world through sonar, a sense most humans don't have. That makes it difficult for us to imagine what it's like to be a bat. Sure, you might imagine having webbing on your arms or bugs in your mouth, but you would still be imagining your human Umwelt in a bat's body, and not what it's like to explore the world through sound. Understanding what a bat feels like as a bat is a pretty big mental leap. We'll never be able to fully make that leap, but it's worth trying anyway. In thinking about the sensory worlds of other animals, we are limited by our own senses. We frame animal senses through our own, and this can be dangerous. We change our environments without thinking of the animals that live there with us. We put coastal lights near beaches, which lure baby turtles away from the ocean. We stop our dogs from sniffing around because we don't realize how important smelling is to a dog. But when we pay attention to other animals, our own world expands. Listen to tree hoppers, and you'll notice that the plants around you are vibrating with silent songs. Watch a dog on a walk, and you'll see that city streets are full of scents and stories. Stepping into another Umwelt is like setting foot on an alien planet where things are similar as they are in this world, but slightly different even so. We will visit these worlds in this book, first through the chemical senses of smell and taste. Then we'll move to vision and color before heading on to pain and heat. We'll explore the mechanical senses, touch, vibration, hearing, and echolocation. Finally, we'll uncover the strange senses that animals use to detect the electric and magnetic fields that animals cannot. We'll explore these senses and the animals that use them in ways that might make you think about the senses in new ways. You may even walk away with a new understanding of the world around you. So the author says, let the journey begin. Thank you very much for being with the Wonder Files today and this exploration of the animal world, billions and billions of species of animals that all live in its own little environment, and we bump into each other's, and we do the best we can, of course, when we do that, but no one's actually out there intending any harm, from a spider to a fly. It's just dinner. From an owl to a bird or bat, whatever, it's just dinner. It's impersonal, but it's infinite, and it works. And so coming to appreciate the depth of that and the breadth of that is an awesome task for the human being in this century. And we depend so much on science and knowing things that sensing things becomes a newer form of challenge, and it's definitely worth your while. Thank you for joining the Wonder Files, and until next time, keep wondering.